Hey guys, Fuljay here and welcome to another review. Today on the schedule is movie Midway, directed by Roland Emmerich. Midway is a 2019 American epic war film about the Battle of Midway, a turning point in the Pacific theater of World War II. The film features an ensemble cast including Ed Skrein, the lead cast, Patrick Wilson, Luke Evans, Aaron Eckhart, Nick Jonas, Mandy Moore, Dennis Quaid, Tadanobu Asano, and Woody Harrelson. In December 1937, in Tokyo, U.S. Naval Attaché Intelligence Officer Lieutenant Commander Edwin T. Layton and his counterpart are discussing the U.S. and Japanese positions in the Pacific Ocean during a state function. Layton is warned by Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto that if the Japanese oil supply is threatened by the US, the Japanese will take immediate action. On December 7, 1941, the Japanese used their carrier fleet to strike at Pearl Harbor. The attack leads the US to enter World War II. Naval aviator Lieutenant Dick Beast and the air group CAG of the carrier Enterprise failed to find the Japanese carrier fleet, exacerbating his rivalry with his commanding officer, Lieutenant Commander Eugene E. Lindsay. The attack on Pearl Harbor, December 1941, seriously damages the US Pacific Fleet, but left the base still operational for forward fleet actions. The Marshall's Gilbert's raids, February 1942, Doolittle raid, April 1942, and the Battle of the Coral Sea, May 1942. It finally describes the planning for the Battle of Midway in June 1942, depicting the creation of complicated battle plan. Admiral Yamamoto and Nagumo outline a complicated battle plan to strike Midway using the four available carriers of the Kido Butai. Joseph Rochefort and his cryptology team begin intercepting messages concerning a location the Japanese identify as AF. Layton speaks with Admiral Chester Nimitz, who informs him that Washington believes AF to be a target in the South Pacific actually. Layton disagrees, believing the intended target to be Midway Atoll. After meeting with Rochefort, Nimitz instructs the team to find a way to definitely prove that AF is Midway. After Layton instructs Midway to telegraph in the clear unencrypted that they are suffering water shortage, cryptologists working for Rochefort intercept Japanese communications concerning water shortages on AF, and confirming that AF is indeed Midway. In the whole process of this preparation for an ambush of the Japanese fleet, Nimitz orders carriers Hornet and Enterprise recalled from the Coral Sea and demands that the damaged Yorktown be made ready for combat operations. The gamble pays off at the end, and all four of the Japanese carriers are destroyed in the Battle of Midway. During the battle, Best suffers from respiratory issues, including coughing out blood, but is awarded the Navy Cross and became one of the two pilots to hit multiple carriers in a single day. On June 4, the Japanese launch an air attack against Midway. Initial attempts by US land-based aircraft to strike at the Japanese fleet carriers fail. A crashing Martin B-26 Marauder narrowly misses striking a carrier's bridge. A shaken Minoru Genda asks if the aircraft was attempting a suicide ramming, although an uncertain Nagumo nervously suggests that the plane was out of control due to the battle damage. Nautilus, a US submarine, attacks an enemy carrier, but the torpedo misses its target. Torpedo squadrons from the American carriers attempt to attack the Japanese carrier force, but are all shot down and not a single torpedo scores a hit. The destroyer Arashi keeps the submarine pinned down so that the carriers can escape. Upon spotting the Arashi, the commander of the air group, called CAG, of the Enterprise, C. Wade McCloskey, correctly infers the Japanese destroyer is rushing back to the main Japanese fleet and leads his planes to follow its course. Anti-aircraft fire from ships and Japanese planes combined with evasive maneuvers keep the carriers safe. However, the attacks keep the Japanese carriers off balance and unable to prepare and launch their own counterstrike. Admiral Tamon Yamaguchi orders Nagumo to launch his strike as soon as he can. On the Akagi, Nagumo experiences hard knocks while being tossed above the carrier as the bombs drop in the water around his flagship. the buffeting he encounters during the bombing, as well as the destruction of 2 of his other carriers, demoralizes him entirely. Before best scores a direct hit on the Akagi. With his own ship in flames, Nagumo goes into a state of shock and is reluctant to transfer his flag, but is persuaded by Genda. So, to make the long story short, I like the CGI effects in this movie, set pieces were awesome, planes were realistically modeled, the battle at the Pacific looked astonishing, full of smoke around, machine guns and torpedoes as well. Due to all the action and good casts, awesome story, I'll give this movie 10 out of 10 because it's really deserved. It's one of the best war movies that came out in 2019, and that holds the bar for this review. So till the next time, see you soon and catch you later.